Good evening, everyone. This is the Daily Spell, and it is Tarot Thursday. I'm Reverend Mary Hawk, and thank you to everyone who is joining us this evening. And we have a very special episode for you today. We have some special announcements for you. My special guest, Ed the Pagan, will be joining us shortly. And as always, I am doing 3-card tarot draws, so feel free to post your questions in the comments at whatever platform you're watching, and I will be happy to do a 3-card pull for you, or just post a hello. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. I want to say thank you to my guest host, Reverend Don, who was pinch hitting for me last week while I was in the middle of moving. Hello, Fluffy. I am doing well. I hope you and Joe and Baxter are doing well. Also, hi, Reverend Don. Good to see you. And thank you for taking over for me last week. As though you can tell from a change in background, I'm in a temporary housing. And we'll just go ahead and talk about our coverage of the Parliament of World's Religions. And I'm going to add that next week, Tarot Thursday is going to be coming at an earlier time. Don't have the time yet, but Reverend Brian and I are going to be doing it from the floor of the Parliament of World's Religion. And we'll be taking questions from people there as well as live questions. And we'll be posting the time as soon as we have it. Hello, Carl. Thank you for joining us. And now that we have got some more people in the room, I do have a very big announcement. We are launching Corellian News. It will be carried on Pagan World TV. And our first assignment is going to be our coverage of the Parliament of the World's Religions. So we will be in Chicago next week. We'll be starting with the live coverage of the parade on Sunday. That is Sunday, the 13th. It starts at 1 Chicago time. That is Central Time. We'll be bringing you live coverage of the Parade of Religions, and we will be bringing you live coverage throughout the Parliament. That is Monday through Friday. We will be having some coverage of some of the sessions. We'll be doing interviews and bringing you all the information we can. We are just so excited to make this announcement. And hello, Ed. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, no problem. The least I can do. Yeah, that's very announcing. It's the idea that we're going to have such a large camera crew, facility of people. We have like 15 or 16 people right now that are part of our press crew that will be covering the Parliament live. And so we'll be putting out materials, all sorts of things. So, pay attention. And if you're interested in that sort of material, I mean, after all, it's only all the religions of the world kind of meet, almost all the religions of the world meeting in one central place. What could happen?
Yes. And also watch pagan.world. We have Reverend Brian will be blogging with updates as well.
Mm. And so Thursday. I've been I've been talking for about 3 hours. Um, yeah, the whole world's going to be watching this, and so we're going to have fighting for freedom, which is a big thing. So that sort of energy. Fighting for a full new moon ritual. It'll be in Chicago, Tuesday, 8 p.m. And we have a lot of people. Of our people are involved with the ritual itself. And Twyla York is just leading this incredible effort. She's out in the pagan faith. She's like everywhere. So she's like really dynamic. And she's kind of leading this full moon, new moon ritual, not full moon, new moon. It's not this where there's northern and southern heavens. It's full moon in the north side. No, it's not like that. So yeah, we're very excited about it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a lot of our crystal energy and we're going to project it towards this ritual. And our peace warrior Rolando, who will be there, which today
Yes,
was announced that, which today it was announced he took over from our great loved who couldn't handle who needed to move on, and she named Rolando head of the Order of the Peace Weavers of the Gregorian tradition today. How amazing are these things
that
moving towards the
is so
parliament?
exciting.
And it's all moving towards the parliament. It's a very exciting thing for me. But one of the things that's going to happen, we're going to raise the energy of the crystal web, which has been built over 35 years. And people wanted me to mention me. I mentioned today about a final device that I was creating for my grid. And oh my God, I thought the world was going to freak out. Like I took away their favorite candy. It's like I took a sucker away from a child. Um, the screaming, the yelling. It's like, oh, it doesn't it belong. Oh, okay. I'm not going to go get into all of that. But what I am going to get into, what did I mean? The final device of own my own crystal web experiment of 35 years, which is based on Atlantean stuff that I did, Atlantean magic, ley lines, and things of that nature. But I'll talk about more about that another time. But one of this is Tarot Thursdays. If you want a reading, that's terrific. Just put your question in there, and Mary will do her very best. As the crystals are beginning to hum. But the crystal web, we've used it for a lot. So in Salem, just to give you an example, I captured thousands of energy of readings, of hundreds and thousands of readings, because they had people put crystals on their tables, and then they connect them to crystal access points, so they had personal energy, and then they also connected something called the oracle, and we created a collective oracle based on the statue there of Samantha as bewitched. And so we continue that energy. So that was just the latest usage of it. But from very early on, we used it. We used to put crystal grids. I used to keep keep my crystals, my active practicing cards inside of crystal grids of 4 quartz crystals and 4 amethyst crystals. And that was to project energy both into them and out of them, so that they were more connected to the universe. Um,
That is interesting.
So the crystal web is based on a principle back in when I first built it, 8888. I visioned a web of energy, a telepathic energy. And one of the things we do with tarot cards is we're constantly tapping into a symbolic finite world. And in that highly symbolic world, it has got sorts of meanings in our emotional or at a psychic level. But it is um, at a time. Oh yeah, Jason, what you don't want to hear about us? This is it. But here's what is important about tarot, and then I think we'll let Mary do that for you.
You
Is
can
that
talk a little more while I'm shuffling.
well? Go ahead. So one of the things that tarot does is you can project yourself in this finite symbolic universe, forward or backward with a finite universe, which makes it more comprehensible to the universe and to you.
Right. So,
Hi, Maggie.
hello, Maggie. Hello, Deb. And I think we have spoken to everyone who's joining us. All right.
Wow. Dead air. Bad.
Dead air.
Dead air should never
Yeah,
happen.
never ever, but when I'm looking at the cards for a second, it happens. All right, so first of all, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. So on the material realm, you're looking at your resources, and you do have the resources there. Now, we've also got the Nine of Lamps, which in this deck, lamps are going to deal with the spiritual realm. And with 9, we are looking at numerology speaking, 9 is a number of completion. It's also a number, it's 3 times 3, and we're looking at integrating what you know, is what I'm getting from this card. And finally, we've got the Eight of Wands. And here we've got someone running. But what the Eight of Wands is telling us is whatever you're afraid of, it's not as bad as you think it is if you will just stand still and face it. So, my advice is, 1, you do have the financial resources. From a spiritual point of view, it's time to integrate things, and whatever it is you're worried about, stand still and face it. Okay, and Renee wants a general reading. Deb just got to work, 2 more shifts and off to Parliament. All right, Deb. I'm glad that helps, Fluffy. That reading is for one of the viewers, Jason, Maggie. If you want a reading, post your question in the chat. Okay, Maggie, do you want a general reading or do you have a specific reading? Renee posted before you, so she is next. And Renee, I'll be happy to give you a reading. And how did your birthday party go, Renee? You've been all excited about it. I hope it was a great day for you. And I'm shuffling up the cards here. And I am personally very excited about going to the Parliament of World's Religions. This is my first time there, although I've been hearing all about it from Ed and Don, and so many other people have had so many amazing experiences there. And then I am just honored to be part of the coverage, bringing it to everyone who's not able to attend. Okay, Deb, I'm glad it's going to be your first time. And we can compare notes. Renee, I'm glad you had a great birthday. Okay. So for Renee, our first card is the Six of Wands. And this is about achieving your goals. You have whatever you're asking about, you have the ability to achieve it. Next, we have the Princess of Pentacles. And in this case, we're talking about resources. The resources are there, but you're holding back somehow. So consider how you're holding it back. Holding back. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. And here we have an artist who is hard at work at his craft. You can see he's getting some instruction. Hey, Ed. So this card is about learning your craft and excelling at it. So altogether, it's a very favorable reading. And I would say if there is some skill you're working on mastering, put a lot of energy into it, or maybe there is something coming up for you that you're going to need to learn how to master, Renee. But overall, it's a fortunate reading for you. And Maggie is asking for general plus travel. Okay. So let me get shuffled up here. I've got a little less room to work with than I'm used to, so bear with me, folks. I am working on a dining room table, and there are other things on it besides me. And we got a jumper. Hi, Rita. And you got a question about your job and money situation? Okay, let me finish this one for Maggie, and I'll be happy to do yours. You are most welcome, Rita. Alrighty, so. All right. So the first card that comes up, Maggie, and this was our jumper, is the King of Pentacles. And this is about having the resources you need. So, and using them wisely. So, if you are considering whether or not you can travel and whether or not you're going to be able to afford it, if you are planning carefully and saving, you're going to. Now, before I show you the next card, I'm going to explain. I use the tarot, the Infinite Tarot designed by Lord Don, and when he did the Kickstarter, one of the options was a design your own card. And yes, that's me. I chose to have myself done as the Queen of Swords, because this card tends to show up representing me in a reading. So I chose this card representing someone who has overcome a lot of obstacles. So there are obstacles to overcome, but you have the ability to do it in this situation. And finally, we have the Seven of Wands. Sorry, we got a bit of a glare. So this indicates the need to make your plans. And it could also mean there's someone who is opposing your plan. So I'm going to draw one more for clarification. And here we've got the Hermit. So the Hermit is telling us you have your resources and you make your own decision here. So you need to decide what you need to do, Maggie, and follow your inner guidance over anyone else's in this situation. And yes, it is nice to be in the deck. There are other personality cards in the deck as well. All righty. Hello again, Ed.
So yeah, I've been watching, dealing with something off. As we head towards Parliament. It feels like I've got like I've said it today. I feel like I'm in the middle of a hurricane. At the eye of the storm, not at the edges. Not it's not hurtling towards me, but it's hurtling me towards something. So I really do like that very much. And Maggie says, "Thank you so much. You did a great job." I was noticing they say it's lovely deck.
It is
Uh,
a beautiful deck.
and so, if you have a crystal access point or anything like that, you should probably, utilize it when you're using your tarot deck. Um, so one of the things we did is to enhance our ability to have tarot to cleanse them. So one of the things that early on we did, not only do we have like matrices on the table and so much, um, but there we go. As much, but we also did experiments with tarot and time. So we used to experiment going back and forth on readings. We could record at one point. We had I don't know where it is. We had sheets and sheets and sheets and sheets and sheets and of paper of recording literally 3, 5, and 7 card readings, and we would do
Hmm.
them in so many different ways. So we were a Newcastle Society, early days of psychic services. We had these offices, and we'd meet, and we would have these sheets of photocopied paper, and we would record our readings that we did for people and other people constantly.
Oh,
So if you want a reading from here, Mary is sitting here just listening to me chit chat. But we did these experiments, very broad. So we built our readings in 3 dimensions. We built them in first dimension, which is a single line. And when you go A, B, C, D, that's linear. It's a one-dimensional reading. You're having just one dimension from the past to the present to the future. Um, so there was that idea of it. Then when you cross cards, we would then do readings where we would add, like if it was a 3 card reading, we'd have it 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down, and you see that a lot in the Celtic cross and things of that nature. Um, and then we would then do readings, fill all that in to these things. Wow, I am just glimmering today.
you are. Now let me go ahead and give Rita her reading
Hmm.
for job money situation. So the first card we get is the
Hmm.
stars. And this means you need to take counsel with your higher self, the divine, however you see that. The next card is the Princess of Swords. So this represents earth and air. So there's a bit of stasis here. The situation is not quite ready to come to pass. But then we have the Four of Pentacles, which represents having enough money for your own needs and being able to give to others if you choose. So, overall, on the job money situation, things are looking good for you. If you're considering a job change or some sort of move, take counsel with your higher power, however you see that. But things are looking good for you. And I hope you find that useful, Rita. And Kai has asked for a general reading. You are most welcome. Let's see what we've got for Kai. And I generally read with selenite on the table with me, although I did not get it out tonight. But I find selenite helps me focus. And Kai, if you cannot see it, Deb says hello. If you're watching on different platforms, you can't see each other. I can see everybody. Ha ha ha. And Deb, Kai says hello. All right, Kai, we start out for you with the Empress, which is generally a card of good fortune, and it also represents very strong feminine and even maternal energy. And oh, look, here I am again. And I've shuffled that deck, let me tell you. You can't see it. So this is about overcoming obstacles, which I know you have had to do and done so well. And then here comes the Seven of Wands again, which, can be either careful planning or possibly someone opposing you. And darn it, I got the Hermit again. Although this just means that there are certain patterns going on in the universe right now. So we are getting a lot of the same energies. So trust yourself, Kai. That is the answer I've got for you. Trust yourself. And Deb says you and Kai are traveling partners to the Parliament. That is wonderful. So I can't wait to see you both there. And I believe I am caught up on questions. If I'm missing your question or if you have a question, please post it. And Ed, if you want to come back and tell us a little more about doing readings, especially invoking the Crystal Oracle, we'd love to hear that. Kai, you are most welcome. And looks like Ed had to step away for a minute. Who is opposing you, Maggie? We can try that. Just a second here. The first card I've got is the Seven of Lamps. And this suit deals with spirituality. And here we have a woman cleansing herself under the full moon. And I'm going to say that this is talking about this card talks about dealing with your own blockages, your shadow self, whatever is holding you back, and cleansing those things away and dealing with whatever you have to deal with. The next card I drew is the King of Lamps. And this card is speaking about spiritual fulfillment, actualization, reaching your highest spiritual potential. And then finally, I've got the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is talking about understanding and being in control of your emotions. So I'm going to say, given these three cards, in this situation, you are your own worst enemy, and it is your own issues that keep coming up that you need to deal with. So you need to work with, we tend to call it the shadow self, the hidden part of yourself. The things we don't like to deal with, and work through those old hurts so that you can be emotionally healed. So I hope that's making sense for you, Maggie.
So Maggie will be joining us at the Parliament of World's Religions next week. You know, I think she's going to find a lot of answers there. I mean, she'll be able to call up on the knowledge of all these different religions and all these different ideas.
I
Yeah,
am
so
sure you will find some wisdom then.
yeah, I think so too.
I can't wait to meet you either, Maggie.
Me either, Maggie. Okay,
All right.
no, Laffy, I know. I've known Maggie for over 30 years. I've met her a few times, so she wants to meet you. So yeah, I'm glad you believe that, Maggie. And so yeah, so that's where we're at. I will show that, and we'll show that. Um,
Mm.
so Don tomorrow is going to do is watch the midday show. Don's going to be asking for something interesting. It's tarot related and crystal web related. We're going to try to see if we can pull on some really good collective energies uh, to see if see what they can do. You know, can you do reading? You know, what's a one card reading look like? What does a one card reading done by lots of different people look like? So Don's going to talk about that on midday, and then next week we're going to be in the thick of this Parliament coverage. So, what do you think? Uh, that sort of thing. So people really like your readings. I didn't realize how much this is a reading show. It's become. It's the only thing that survived the Daily Spell. As you know, it was very difficult to do, and so they
Yes.
started. I guess there could be some
Uh,
tarot demonstrations too at the Parliament, which I've never seen before, ever.
yes. Reverend Brian and I are planning on doing Tarot Thursday live. It is probably going to be much earlier than
Hmm.
9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. And we'll post the time as soon as we have it nailed down. But we'll be taking questions from you in the chat room as usual, but we're also going to be offering readings to people who are passing by.
Hmm. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait to do it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So Tarot Thursday on that, and it's the same day that I will be debuting the movie. We at Pagan World TV will be debuting the movie Journey to the Parliament.
Yes. And what time will that be?
Well, I'm premiering it at 3:30 at the Parliament itself. So we'll have it in the schedule, but it'll be sometime after that. So if you're at the Parliament
Okay.
yourself, you can get to see it for the first time. Now, hmm, and yeah, oh, thank you, Kai. That's appreciative. We can talk about that a little bit. Um, so we're Pagan World TV, as you know, every day we're exactly that. We love what we do. But one of the things that was confusing people, and we decided that we're all going to work, is that Corellian News is going to be the actual team we've got. They're all Corellians. I'm surprised we don't have any non-Corellians in that team. And as far as I know, maybe a
We
few.
do have one.
What was that? Don?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Technically, my husband is not Corellian.
yeah, but he accepted being a paladin, so that's a little different. Um,
Okay.
But we decided we're one team in showing family and unity. We're going forward as Corellian News and Corellian News Service. I can't explain everything that I know, but I know I've got an awfully sudden fill of head of what is happening in the back end of this thing. And I'm telling you, there is a hurricane heading for the Parliament of reporters. It's very exciting. The governor's coming in and everything else. So, why don't you do me a favor, Mary? Why don't you do a quick reading about, I don't know, the Parliament? What do you think?
Okay. The Parliament in general, your experience, what?
I don't know. Why don't we ask, how is the full moon ritual going to go? Let's be
How is
gutsy.
the full
The
how
new
is the
moon,
full moon
the new,
ritual going
the
to
new,
go?
the new moon
The
ritual.
new
How's
moon.
it? The new moon ritual, which we're focusing all our energy of the crystal web as much as we can towards our peace warriors and to others to participate with the world. Oh, see, risky. I ask the risky questions. People get mad at my questions all the time. Okay, so yeah, so Kai, I can't wait. Kai's a part of it. Kai's actually made these bags, tote bags on it. It's new moon. I know it's new moon. Thank you, Byron. But she's made these bags that are really cute, and it's going to have Corellian Press, so you'll be able to identify us.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
First card is the Magus.
Okay. How do you interpret that?
Magic is coming.
It'll be very magical. Good. Magus is first. Magic, pure. Yeah, pure and simple.
Second card is the Nine of
Mhm.
Pentacles.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah.
So, physical manifestation is how I'm reading it.
Certainly would be.
Final card, Temperance. So, we're
Huh.
going to be taking many disparate parts and from them creating a much greater whole.
Hmm. Yeah, I think so too. So I think the energy is going to be. Of course, it's going to be a pretty big experiment for me, just to kind of see if this energy works. And there we go. Thank you all. I'm really expecting energy. So one of the things I'm hoping that people will understand is that this idea of magic, in the form of tarot card readings or everything, or in other ways, is an everyday affair. I mean, we practice magic on a daily level. And so, but sometimes we can get caught in obsessions. I certainly have the crystal wet obsessions. I actually have sat down and calculated, and I of how many crystal web points we did that are permanent. Yeah, but I've done a bunch that aren't. So there you go. So one of the things you can do if you have a crystal web, you know, thank you, Kai. That's very kind of you. I got told that today. I mean, something is. Uh, and one of the things you can do is you can take. I like amethyst a lot for predictions, and if you really want to improve your ability to do tarot readings, and one of the best ways you can do. Thank you. Wow, that puts a little pressure. Actually, I'm hoping to share more of this. I realize people don't understand what it is. So when I talked about a final device today to create, and that is to sort of play in the ideas of quantum of this, because this is a quantum field. We just practice magic every day. We do it shared energy. This is a manifestation of that. But one of the things we do a lot of is we project forward and backward in time and to now, and we don't do enough of magic. So this ritual we're talking about is fighting for freedom, is more leadership than I've seen in a long time and more intent. And so that's why I want to bring so much of this crystal energy to it. I want everybody to see it, everybody to hear it. I know the people who are involved, and it's amazing. I don't. Amazing is just too small a word. To have so many people coming in for a ritual to fighting for freedom, to have so many religions come into fighting for freedom, to come together. How could we not be part of that? It just happens to coincide with this massive spell I've been casting for 35 years. But so, Tara, anyone else want a reading? Is anyone looking for a reading? That's a very powerful thing. So, Mary is hot tonight. Give her some readings there so she can fulfill her goal of doing a great show because she always works to do a great show. People don't realize how hard she's been working on Pagan World TV. And oh, yeah, her life has just been like twisted in every direction. So,
It has
technically,
been a crazy few months here. Does anyone else have a question for me?
oh, you can ask me questions, but I don't have a tarot deck in front of me. I am in the city of Chicago and things of that nature. And people start arriving tomorrow. Some people are already on the road. Huh? It's all enchantment. So no more
Yes,
mundane. Let
I'm
me go ahead.
leaving Saturday.
Yeah. So let me tell you, if the crystal web is understood, and Byron has talked about this, and other people have spoken about it, this is the end of the mundane. We're tired of it. Uh, During the summer, Byron Ballard talked really strongly about the idea, the concept of we go into the festival grounds to become, to have this wonderful magical experience, but then we kind of program ourselves. This is my interpretation. She does a much more beautiful job of explaining it. Um, but we can then go home and say, well, this is mundane. This is like no magic. And we believe this. So we live most of our time in this no magic land that we're creating in our mind. And she's reminding us we have this enchantment at the festivals. It's easier to be enchantment. The trees are there. We love each other. We talk a lot. There's food. There's all this human smells, because uh, and it comes down there. People don't realize, how much a human we really just do love sense. That we need to have. All right, there we go. See that? It's scent and things. All we bring all this together, and we live this enchanted week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and and then we go home and we program this thing. We need to bring back our enchantments with us. It's all enchanted.
Exactly.
It's all enchanted, and
It
that's a really
is.
and that's what we need to start bringing more of. So we're going into this parliament. And we're going with a lot of people who don't necessarily believe as we do, but they do believe in one thing. They're talking about defending freedom and human rights to do so. And this is where this whole thing is tied in. There's a point to this, is that the crystal webs I spent my entire life building, there's over 30,000 different access points that I can talk to. There's so many more access points, So, this energy we're going to draw on, we're going to ask for everybody to draw on all that energy. And we're going to do it with us programmed live event that you can see on the internet and on it. So I'm not just asking you to do this sort of metaphysical exercise. People have really planted these crystals. Chicago is where we started planting these crystals. Where that field is they're going to do the ritual has had crystals. I had it for a long time. I love this sort of thing. And we're going to ask all that energy to be brought together to back these people, to back this ritual. And some of the best enchanters we've got, the best crystal people, Rolando, Don, Lord Don, we got massive number. And they're all going to be feeling this energy into this spell on the lakefront before a crystal glass palace. It's gorgeous. I can't explain it where they're doing it. It's just gorgeous. And they're inviting everybody to come to it. How could we not do that? And how can we not utilize that to re-enchant ourselves, our world, and before them show them something? And as you saw from the reading, to manifest the gods themselves, literally, this is where the gods, if there's, people are going to be a little bit, let me be a little bit, and, Don says, I cut up sacred cows and make them into dogma burgers. Um, yeah, he does say that
That's
about.
awesome.
But all the gods, if there is gods as we know them, and just Bear with me. They're going to be sitting in their heavens and their various places, and this is like a premiere show. Today, we're going to the Parliament of World's Religions, where all our representatives are going to come forth and seek peace. It's going to be beautiful. And as they're watching us, it's going to be beautiful. And depending on what you believe, this is a moment where all the gods are coming together to speak the peace. And this is a great ritual. New moon, I work a lot of dark moons to enchant everything. And I'm hoping that we continue to enchant the world. And that's something I've heard it over and over again, and for years. I've been listening, um, and I've been working on this. So it's really important. And the final device is I can't hard to explain it, but I'll explain it more later. To the crystal grid that I built, and it's all over Chicago. Um, it's fun. It's something fun to do. But don't let that separate it from the fact, well, they're doing this ritual, this magic, this energy. And it's not me doing it. So let's be very clear. I'm not anywhere there. Oh, okay. So, okay, I will talk about that in a minute. If you want a reading, Mary will, but I will talk about. So I have been accused. So this energy is going to come forth, and then we're going to do some serious work. We're going to do some serious work. We're going to talk about what freedom looks like. And I think I've got a crew of people. I mean, I've got brought some amazing people to it. Rolando's coming. The Paladins brought Rolando. That was our October fundraiser that we did last October to bring
Yes.
Rolando. And today was named as the Peace Warrior, the premier Peace Warrior of the Corellian tradition.
Hi,
And
Rolando.
wow!
So good to
And
see you.
there you go. And so
And
we've
I'll
got.
see you in person in a couple of days.
Oh, they want everybody wants to see Rolando. I mean, oh my God, Rolando is going to be so hugged. We're going to have to probably wrap his ribs to protect him. Uh, Uh, we have Rain Packery coming from South Africa. And Rain Packery is
Yeah.
an amazing story. She's a Corellian, and we had an older lady by the name of Carol Nolan. She left for Lingen. She just dropped everything. Witch School was just like prominent. And this 18-year-old girl picked it all up and has been running the Corellian tradition of South Africa on behalf of Dawn of the Tradition, and now she gets to come to America. And where did all this cycle start? 1999, Parliament of World's Religions, the third convening of it. We made a huge influence in Cape Town and in South Africa, and we found members who became it. And then Rain became picked up and become the leader in that. She did a lot of work, and now she's coming to America. We have other amazing people too out there. Yep, guys saying it.
Yeah. I can't wait to meet you, Rolando. I'm not sure if you can see each other.
Yeah, and so we're gonna have so this is there we go, and there we go, and at Magic TV, yes, we have recorded. Okay, so let's talk. See, um, it may not sound at Magic. Yeah, that's why. And Rolanda's saying me too. Magic TV is a huge repository of materials that are under the control of Penguin World TV. And what we'll do is that we have lots of videos. My journey to the Parliament's based on some of these videos and some recordings I've made. And I'm so glad they accepted. But it's our kind of our journey to there. But yeah, we have a lot of recordings from a lot of parliaments from 1999 on. There is no recordings from me in 1993. We weren't doing that yet. I was an assistant stage manager. An amazing experience. I can't even describe it. It was life. The second parliament in 1993 was a life changing and a life branding experience for me. So I am so enthusiastic about it. None of this would have existed in the way that exists now because I would if it was not for that parliament. I'm not saying it wouldn't exist because we all know parallel realities and all of those other things. And there's a lot of other alternatives, but in the one where I am so proud that Lori Blackman leading an effort called leading our press team, a major press
Yes.
team, and that Mary Hawk is president of it, is going to make sure it gets all on the air and is going to basically back up the content team and is in charge
Yes.
of that, which is a boys' club. So she's going to have her work cut out for her. So send her lots of energy. Huh?
Bring it.
Yeah. But we want,
Bring it.
yeah,
I'm
but
used to playing in the boys' club. Don't scare me.
no, but actually, we have nothing. We have actually, and this idea of doing Corellian news is very, very important. We decided that we didn't want to go into a divided team. We didn't want to go into it that we were setting up a dual system of Pagan World TV and that. It's there. So yeah, we have it. So and so not and for the reasons of having talked to a lot of my friends in the press. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about that. I wish I could talk more about it. I will later, but I can't. I was held to a lot of
Stay
confidentiality.
tuned. We
Hmm?
have some great stories to bring you. We can
Right.
say that much.
Oh, sure. And we are going to do coverages to that. And we have this sort of press team. But our press team paid their own way. A lot of them are bringing their own kit. This is the ultimate in citizen recordings. We're going to be the best of the small. Um, we're going to have press passes. We do have press passes. We're fully recognized. We've done so much work in not only the parliament and other ways across it. We've done that. But we wanted to have a clear, and we have a bias. There's no way to get around it. We have our bias, Corellian news. But it's also going to cover Pagan World News, as we always, Magic TV, all of it. We cover everybody. We love diversity. And so there we go. I think there's some great stories. I think there are great stories out there. But as we come into the end, is there anyone who wants one more reading out there? Oh, she brought
Yep,
material.
I got time to do one or two more readings if anybody wants one.
Okay. So let me offer this. If you're doing tarot card readings, bring a crystal, and you do a crystal access point. Bring your crystals to a place where you can do a crystal access point. It could be indoors or a grid where you put your crystals in there. And in there, you add amethyst, you add quartz, you add smoky quartz, and also rose quartz. Because it represents protection, to obscurement. Smoky is obscurement. Okay, let me slow down. I get excited about this stuff, so I get really fast. And oh, you're going to learn about Chicago Access next week. We talk like squirrels. We are a fast talking city. Hmm?
Oh boy.
Yeah, we talk. People who have listened to me talk, yeah, I got a pretty thick Chicago accent. We get to share that with you. Um, but the amethyst basically provides for a healing energy. Smoky quartz, to try to see the obscure. Um, Rose for love and energy of that vibration in regular quartz, um, because that's an amplifier energy. We use it for everything, and it shows to be good for that purposes. And then we usually surround it. If you put that on your deck on a grid of that over crystal access points, it will seek to try to do so. Um, Send out and pick up energies. Remember, somewhere a tarot deck is being shuffled all the time. No, Maggie. No, it depends on what you're building and what you believe. But no, we have tons and tons, literally probably a ton. And when I phrase it that way, polished quartz crystals or mirror quartz crystals, right? Uh, People have made polished quartz. Some people have, so there are even quartz crystals that are port that are basically um, clear. You see them in very clear, like monoliths. Those are great to use. And just because it's chemically created or more importantly manufactured, that's pure quartz. So if you're arguing to me that it's being connected to nature, it was. It can't be unconnected, but it's pure quartz. So there's not. If it's based on the elements of it, it's important. And so there you go. Energy, energy, energy. Energy is what we want it to be. The funny thing is, and let's make this very, very clear. One of the things we are doing right now that we're playing a lot of games with is that our reality, our paradigms of reality are kind of falling apart at the edge. I mean, 4 years ago, a little more than 4 years ago, I got my color vision back after a lifetime of being black and white. You can explain it or not explain it, but I can prove it's true. Hmm? Whether the explanation of it or why it happened, I have lots of people who had lots of theories and things like that. But because I believe in verifiable magic, that's the thing. I can prove that something happened. I can't prove what. I can prove something did through medical tests. So, getting back to the last piece, tarot cards is about bringing enchantment into your life. And how does
Pure
it
and
feel, Mary?
simple.
And Mary, you love tarot cards.
I do.
And so, talk about that love for a minute. What is that energy like?
Uh, well, it's
Hmm.
it's kind of a love at first sight thing. I've told this story before. My first tarot deck
Hmm.
literally pulled me off the interstate.
Hmm.
My daughter and I were headed to the mall to eat dinner and see a movie, and I got off one exit early. And she said, "Hey, Mom, is this the right exit?" And then I saw Barnes and Nobles and said, "Oh, I need to run in here right quick," because I knew there was something there I needed. And I went in and I found the Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck. And that was my very first tarot deck. And I didn't know I was supposed to get it. But the funny thing is, I had literally just gotten paid that day. So I had the money to buy it. And it just called to me. So I bought my tarot deck, and then we went and ate dinner, saw our movie, and I came back home and sat up half the night learning my tarot deck. And it's learning keys to the universe, keys to the soul, learning to trust myself with readings, learning to trust myself to read for others. That was the biggest hurdle for me, because while I am naturally psychic,
Hmm.
I tend to be very much kind of demanding evidence. So it took me quite a while to trust my ability to read. I worked with cards just for myself and my family for many years before I would read for anyone else. But yeah, it is definitely a love affair. I have deck after deck after deck, although I mostly just read with the Infinite Tarot these days, because once I got the Infinite Tarot, it actually hid my other cards from me. I have no other explanation. The bag got hidden behind a piece of furniture in my house, and I had to work with them exclusively for a while. So, yes.
So, there you go. Well, I guess that's the end of this show tonight. But so two things we've discovered: Mary is a fantastic reader, and that that she's a natural talent at that. And the second thing is that tonight we're going to explain. We're handing our programming over to Krellian, the Krellian news team for the coverage of the Parliament. We're going to be doing a lot of things, and we want you to be a part of that. Oh, and three,
So, go ahead.
new moon ritual. Concentrate, focus, help us bring it together, and send your energies to help them out on Tuesday, August 15th at 8 p.m. Central Time. And I think that is 3 p.m. UTC. Or is it the other way around? I'm not sure. I think it's, but we'll check it out. So, Mary, this is your show.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us. Please watch Pagan World and Pagan World TV for coverage of the Parliament. And blessed be everyone. And y'all have a great evening.